June 28, 1926. On this day, the brand Mercedes-Benz, a status symbol of our time, was born. Daimler and Benz had just joined their companies in automaking matrimony, and their offspring were going to be innovative vehicles sold under the name Mercedes-Benz. Welcome, and today we're going back to the day Gottlieb Daimler and Carl Benz merged their companies in what would become a long-lasting partnership. We're pretty sure you wouldn't believe where the name Mercedes part of the Mercedes-Benz name came from. Well, make sure you watch this video to the end to find out. The story of Mercedes-Benz has an interesting beginning. The automaking legends Gottlieb Daimler and Carl Benz started creating engines and motor-powered vehicles long before the 20th century. But it wasn't all smooth sailing though. Here's how the story begins. Toward the end of the 19th century, Gottlieb Daimler partnered with his friend and engineer Wilhelm Maybach to create a technology for a quality combustion engine. They named their creation the grandfather clock, and the high-speed engine was first launched in 1883. Meanwhile, Carl Benz was growing more and more passionate about creating a more convenient and horseless means of transportation. It wasn't easy finding investors who bought into his vision at first, but Benz didn't give up hope. He would later found his own company together with his partner the same year Daimler and Maybach launched Grandfather Clock in 1883. However, apparently there were some irreconcilable differences and Benz's partner abandoned ship, categorically telling Benz that he was wasting his time building motor cars. Nevertheless, these three men, unknown to one another at the time, continued to stoke the flames of their passion for automobiles. And so they continued working on engines and developing vehicles, even though they faced overwhelming skepticism and even ridicule, sometimes from the people around them. Fortunately, their hard work and determination would pay off, and in a relatively short time too. In 1885, Daimler and Maybach created what they called the riding car. It featured a one-cylinder engine mounted onto a bicycle, which would go on to become the first patented motorcycle in history. While all that was going on, Carl Benz was still working on his dream of motorized transportation. The first engine he designed was too heavy for a car, and so he continued to make iterations to his design, until he could find something that was usable in a motor vehicle. He would eventually come up with a three-wheel motor car which was patented in 1886. The vehicle was a two-seater and open-air seating space under which the engine was mounted. Not resting on his oars, Benz continued to hone his automotive engineering skills, and in 1895 he created the motorized omnibus, a larger and more refined vehicle. The driver was to be seated in open air, but the cabin behind was enclosed with doors and windows, making for a more comfortable riding experience. Daimler, on the other hand, kept hard at work designing newer motor car designs until 1896, when he released his first design for a truck. The truck was an open-air vehicle with the engine sitting underneath the cargo area and an exposed flatbed on top. While an innovative success, the demand for the four-wheel vehicle was quite low until 1906, when demand suddenly skyrocketed. Being two of the biggest automakers in Germany at the time, Carl Benz and Gottlieb Daimler were in constant competition against each other. However, World War I happened, and both companies started to struggle financially, because obviously no one had the means or the inclination to make luxury purchases just yet. And so, weighing their options, both companies decided that a merger would be better than competition. The two companies therefore merged on the 28th of June, 1926, and their company was called Daimler-Benz AG. As for the name Mercedes, this has a rather interesting history. Emil Jelinek was an entrepreneur and racing enthusiast who worked for Daimler's company DMG before it got merged. After helping to create the Mercedes 35 horsepower in 1900, he decided to name his invention after his daughter Mercedes. DMG would later trademark the name in 1902, and after the merger, the new line of automobiles from the newly formed company would carry the name Mercedes-Benz, while the company retained the Daimler-Benz name. And now you're all caught up on June 28, 1926, when Mercedes-Benz was born. We hope you found the video interesting. What's your favorite Mercedes-Benz car, by the way? Do share with us in the comments, and do like this video and subscribe to the channel while at it. Thanks for watching Time Warp, and we'll see you in the next video.